in the show, out of the show, back in the show,
Wow.
and now one of the I think most important moments in the show.
Hi, besties. Welcome back to West End Best Friend. And today we are joined by a very special guest from across the pond, but soon to be coming to London to perform in their own solo concert. It's Pulitzer Prize winner, Grammy award winning Tom Kitt. Welcome to West End Best Friend. It's an honor to chat to you. How's it going?
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here, and it's going great. I'm arriving in the UK in a short time, and I cannot wait.
And you're coming here specifically to perform your own solo concert Reflections at the venue Crazy Coqs. Now, you're saying you're excited. What can you tell us about this concert?
Well, I love to perform. I've done this concert a few times here in New York at 54 Below.
Yeah,
And it's basically an opportunity for me to tell some stories behind some of the songs that I've written over the years for shows, also for an album that I did called Reflect, which I created in the pandemic with a number of brilliant theater artists. I was kind of sitting around feeling very sad and useless. And my wife, Rita, said, this is really a moment for artists, and you need to figure out something to create and try to
yeah,
speak to people through art. So I came up with this idea of writing something about that moment, but wanting to collaborate and hear so many stories and create songs that cherished friends of mine wanted to sing about and
yeah.
write about. So Reflect became an album of songs, and so I'll do a few of those songs in the concert as well.
So the concert's name almost named after the album. Is that kind of the main inspiration?
It definitely is the jumping off point, and I love using that as kind of the headline.
Yeah,
But it's there's a few songs from it, but a number of my musicals and stories behind those songs that are in those shows, and then songs that were cut from those shows. So it's just a great opportunity to talk about my career and the things that have kind of happened over the years that have sparked creation. I'm a father of three, and so my kids play a big role in my in the things that I make. So it's nice to talk about some of those stories as well.
of course. Yeah. And your career has been an amazing one. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you. It's spanned across so many shows, mainly kind of Next to Normal is kind of the big one that we're really excited for. We're getting a premiere here soon in London, and loads more. Jagged Little Pill, Flying Over Sunset, Almost Famous, to name a few. So when you sat down to create this concert, how did you possibly narrow things down? What was kind of the criteria for songs making it into this 80-minute evening of song?
Well, I think the first thing is I'm going to be singing for most of the evening, if not all of it. So, what are
Yeah,
songs that would be good for me to perform?
that's true. You got to take care of
So,
yourself.
so that's the first thing. But also crafting an evening of songs that I have feel like they work in a concert. They're intimate but theatrical. They have stories that resonate for me beyond just the songs themselves. So for example, the song I've Been, which is in Next to Normal,
Yeah.
I've Been was originally a song that I wrote in, I would say, 1997. And it was written for my wife, who we weren't married yet, I'm still dating, but she's an actor, a wonderful actor.
Yeah.
She was going away to do a show for the first time, and she
Okay.
was terribly homesick. So I tried to get inside of her experience and write a song about what it is to be alone for the first time and to feel all of these pangs of fear and anxiety, as opposed to what you're used to. So it was a song that I was proud of right away, and I played all the time with my band. And then Brian Yorkie heard it one day, and he said, I think this could actually really serve an important moment in Next to Normal. Do you mind if I tweak the lyrics? There's a few remnants in the Next Normal version, but it's basically a completely new lyric.
Okay.
Um, but that song, so we developed Now I've Been,
Yeah.
apart from my band, we developed it in Next to Normal for a number of years. And then when we got to second stage, we cut it. So it wasn't in the show.
Right.
Then when we went to arena stage, we brought it back. Michael Greif came up with this, really powerful way to stage it. And it suddenly felt like it never left. So
Yeah.
the journey
Oh,
of the
right.
song from a Tom Kitt band song for my wife to now in the show, out of the show, back in the show,
Wow.
and now one of the I think most important moments in the show. It's kind of a cool journey for that song.
Yeah, like for just what kind of one song to have such a journey, and then I'm sure loads of your other songs as well have similar journeys, and people at home watching, you'll be able to find out all about this if you come to see the concert. So now you've talked about writing about these songs, and it always fascinates me as someone who could possibly never write a song, to go from silence to 3.5 minutes of like an emotional journey is so impressive. It fascinates me. And I'm wondering if you could speak to your songwriting process and kind of how you go from silence to just such a wonderful emotional story that even fits in a narrative or is just a song by itself. How do you do it, Tom? How do you do it?
The thing that I can say, and it's maybe just particular to me, is that it really is physical in the sense that I start to get this wave of excitement and adrenaline, and I can't write it fast enough. I just have to figure it out, and then
Yeah.
I might get to a place where I've gone as far as I can. But that burst, that feeling that you're onto something, it's just the most unbelievable thing. And I think that's what keeps bringing me back to it, because I know that it has the potential to give you that kind of euphoria when you're in the creative process. I don't know, the image of a blank palette to me is one of the most exciting things that I can think on.
That is really good, kind of wonderful to hear. I can hear how kind of passionate you are about what you do, and it's fantastic. And I hope that people at home can get this as well when they get to see you play the songs that you wrote. Because of course, normally you'd be writing songs for a show for other characters and other performers to sing, but now you're taking ownership of these songs. And so, what does that feel like when you've watched people interpret your songs? Now you're kind of performing them by yourself. Do you feel any kind of pressure, or is it something that you've always wanted to do?
There's definitely a pressure. It's still the act of someone coming and interpreting a song of mine. When it first happened, when I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
it never gets old to see someone come and meet something that you've created and then lift it to heights that you didn't even know were possible. So competing with that, I can't get in my head too much about it because I never will be able to do that. But some people will say, I don't know if you've heard this, but some people will say there's something special about watching the composer interpret their own work.
Yeah.
So that's the part of it where I say, well, I can't get in my head. I have to believe that I give a window for people that are interested in the process and where it comes from, that giving that window into that is interesting. And to be honest, my dream from an early age was to be Elton John, Billy Joel, Paul McCartney. Those were, I wanted to write songs and record them and tour the world and make albums. And so I think this is also getting to live that dream.
Of course.
And be in that world. And I just love doing it. I played piano bar for a number of years, sometimes for nobody, but to me, I was always sitting at Madison Square Garden. So anytime an audience comes and I get a chance to perform, it's truly a thrill for me.
Brilliant. And I'm sure it will be a wonderful evening as well. And the venue as well, like you said, you've done it at 54 Below. Crazy Coqs here in London is a very, very similar venue. You're going to get that really kind of intimate relationship with yourself and with the audience. And I'm sure that's something you're really looking forward to as well, right?
Absolutely. And things happen in the moment. You see how people react. If I'm on a certain story and it's getting a good response, maybe I tell a couple of details that I wasn't thinking about. So it's very much in the moment, and there's some improvisation to it as well, which is great.
That's some of the best kind of material though, when you kind of get that relationship with the crowd, and you can see that you're kind of giving them something that they're never going to get anywhere else again. It's that one kind of moment of live music.
Absolutely. And that's why we live to go see live music, for the unexpected and just being on stage with people. You get to feel that energy. It's extraordinary.
Yeah, it really is brilliant. It's why one of the reasons why I love theatre so much and love talking to creatives such as yourself, and you can see kind of the passion that you have. Now, of course, we cannot do this interview without talking about next to what? I'm going to redo that again. I'm going to do that again. Sorry about that.